No idea if you're there or not. Until you pop up on here, I've got no idea. So until you pop up on here, I simply have no idea. Ah, right, there we are. Ah, jolly good. Good evening, darlings, and a very warm welcome to Monday Night Live with me, Boaty. And I am going to be coming irresponsibly into any particular orifice which takes my fancy over the next. Well, not that long, actually. It's going to be a very short one tonight, my darlings. I'm sure that will come as a God. Oh dear. I'm sure that will come as a hand relief to you. See, make it rude. I can say it. God, honestly. Well, that seems to be setting the tone for the kind of lipstick around the nipple that we're going to be getting this evening, doesn't it? How are you, darlings? I haven't seen you since health teeth. God above. Well, I haven't seen you since the last time, really, have I? When was the last time? Saturday, wasn't it? Saturday. Oh yeah, we did a lunchtime live, didn't we? Yes, we did. I remember it well. I was there, you were there. Simone is with us. Very good evening, Simone. Boying to you as well. I wonder if he's still playing with the MacBook. Wonders Prosta Cinquecento. Oh, look at that. It's got a little. Give it a lick and a spit like your mother used to do on your cheek in the Kingfisher shopping centre. Look at that. Dear me. That's probably bits of Momo that I spattered over it during last night's supper. Good evening, all, says Joe Carswood JC. Good evening to you. What do you think, asks Proster, of the hubnutters buying the Mitsubishi Jeep? I think it's nice, but it's a bit too rusty for me. Well, that's a good question. What do we all think of that? What do I think of it? I mean, I don't know what you think of it. I probably know what I think of it if I thought about it, so I'll think about it. Let me think about what I think of it. I don't know. It's an old shed, isn't it? And it's, I suppose it's cute-ish in a way, if you like that sort of thing. Do I think anything else? Well, I think that where they live in Wales, it makes sense to have a little 4x4 for the winter. But yeah, it did seem to be. I mean, I don't watch Hobnet anymore. I don't watch a lot of things I don't watch a lot of things anymore, to be honest. You know, time is the enemy and all of that. But I did watch that little episode where they clambered underneath it and stuff. And it does seem to be a bit crusty. Krusty was the clown from The Simpsons, wasn't he? Did you used to watch The Simpsons? They've been going a long time now, haven't they? Oh, there's a good feature. Cartoons. Which cartoons have you watched and enjoyed? Do you still watch them? I obviously don't watch things anymore. Cartoons that I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't really watch any when I was a kid. Well, I suppose I probably did, but I can't particularly remember them. I used to watch The Simpsons, and then I kind of grew out of them. South Park, obviously. I mean, who doesn't love South Park? Never got into the Family Guys or what was the one where they were up in space? Jet 2000 or whatever it was called. When did I get to? Good evening, all, says Bad Books. Neil says, good evening, all. Hope we're all well and had a good weekend. I hope you had a good weekend too. Oh, B, says Simone. I'm okay. Is he on a promise? Asks Bad Books. No, not that I'm aware of. A quick one from Barry. I did the podcast on Saturday, which will be uploaded to the channel Seagulls Gather later this week. Okay, jolly good. We'll all keep a look out for that one. Good evening, chat, and good evening, Boaty, says John. Hello there, sir, says Dan Peters. Hope your day's been great. I have a job interview tomorrow, and it would be excellent if I managed to get this position. Well, tell us more, Dan. What is it? What is the job that would be excellent to get? Share the excitement with your friends. I'm going to say another thank you to Joe for his bottle of rather splendid Pinot Grigio. And I invested in a few bottles of this myself while they were on the 25% off thing. And they're jolly nice. So thank you for that, Joe. I couldn't afford to buy it normally. It's £8 a bottle in Sainsbury's, but while it's on offer, why not? Boaty, if I were you, I'd get some cotton gloves for when you operate that MacBook. You seem very protective over it. I bloody am. I'm going to be paying for it for the next 10 years. I want it to stay nice. Hello, everyone, says Trisha Alderman, and a big hello to you, Trisha. Hope you're well. The last cartoon I watched, says Barry, was Thundercats when I was about 6. Skick is here and says, the Jeep that Hubnut bought wouldn't be for all, but for him, it's good content and with some work could turn out to be a good investment. I think he probably has bought it for the content. Rhubarb and custard, Bod, and Ivor the Engine, says Bad Books. Would you like to hear my Ivor the Engine impression? Here we go. I uploaded my 8-track film, Boat, says Simone. I will keep my eyes out for that. Good luck, Dan, says Barry. Neil used to binge watch South Park in the 6 weeks holiday when they used to come on the TiVo box. What the bloody hell is a TiVo box? No idea. The Simpsons got very boring and repetitive. It was good back in the day. God, I mean, it's a long time ago now, isn't it? I started watching The Simpsons when I was in my early 20s and I was with Sasha. God, that's going back. Oh, and that's Sasha, who I will be seeing tomorrow, actually, for the first time for, gosh, a long time. So glad you liked the wine, says Joe. Evening all, says Cheeseburger. How you doing, John? If you want, you can tell the chat about my friend's health, mate, says John. Yeah, John's bless him. Poor old John. Where was I? Hold on. Yeah, I got this message off John a couple of days ago. Hi, Jason. Had some bad news today. My friend who I go to on a Sunday and half owns my caravan has had a stroke. It affected his brain and heart. He has now in total had 6 strokes. Good God. In less than 2 months, he has other health issues. He has prostate cancer and Paget's disease, so worse than me. And his consultant has told him that if his brain and heart don't recover, this will be his last Christmas. I'm heartbroken. I'm not well, and he's my best friend. Gosh, dear me. And as I replied, in life, it never rains, but that it pours. So, I mean, bless you, John. My heart goes out to you and to your friend, of course. The job in question, says Dan, is a traffic management position at a different firm. It would mean me having to travel less each day to get to the yard, and it would be extra salary, which is always good. John's telling Cheeseburger that he's getting stronger every day. That's good. My favourite cartoon was Mysterious Cities of Gold, says Simone. Loved it. Haven't heard of that one. Nice video, Simone, says Cheeseburger. You can't beat a bit of IPA to clean tape heads. Scooby-Doo in the 70s before Scrappy came along. That's from Richard Myers. God, yes, Scooby-Doo. Yeah, and bloody hell, I've caught up with the comments already. So, what's been happening? Well, I mean, tell me about your weekends, by all means. I'd love to hear about it. I really fancy some nibbles at the moment. Nibbles! And I haven't got any, so I can't have any. But I would love some nibbles. I would like some scampi flavoured fries or oh, I don't know, some Bombay mix or just a little bit of something, you know. The problem, and the reason I'm so fat now, is that at work there's always something to graze on. So, and because I don't want to graze and because I don't want to be as fat as I am, at home I don't have anything to graze on. I have stuff for meals and that's it. I have no snacks in the place. Never have had all my life. No biscuits, nothing. Nothing of a snacky nature. Because if it's there, I'll eat it. If it's not there, I can't eat it. But right about now, I really do fancy some nibbles. You know, a cold sausage that I could dip into a bit of Branston pickle. That would be nice. I've got nothing. Oh, hang on. Oh, I'll have that. I'll have that. That'll keep me going. Hold on. There we go. Excellent. Tell me some good ideas, say Skick, you have for next year. Okay. Good ideas for next year. Going to the seaside more often, at least once a month. Going home to South Wales, which didn't manage to do this year. What else? Fit some new gramophones to some of the fleet. Spend more time exploring the Pennines around the yard. Do more outdoor lunches. Do some camping with the old Land Rover. Buy a tent. Do some camping. Other good ideas for next year. Well, try and stay alive throughout it. I'll think on about that. I fancy a bit of something, say Simone. There's no chance of that. Lol. Bombay mix. Do you have a budgie cage? I don't. Is he talking about food sex? Dipping his sausage in pickle? No, I wasn't. Oh, Johnny's booked in next Thursday for the consultant. Excellent. Jolly good. So today I have been to the Yard of Dreams, but it was a short visit because it is Mustard's daughter's birthdays. They're twins, of course. It's their birthday today, so Mustard promised to go home and be at home when they got back from school. So, but I did need to get up there. I needed to take the wheels back, and I needed to swap cars, and that's exactly what happened. I went in Barney the Streetwise. I came back in Mingebag, and I'm planning to take Mingebag tomorrow. And there is it might seem incongruous, but there is a reason why I'm taking Mingebag tomorrow, or planning to anyway. Good evening, says Pingu. Good evening, Admiral. How are you floating today? Head above water, cheeseburger. Hope you're well too. It is indeed a chipolata cheeseburger. I'm getting my Pingus and my cheeses mixed up. I'm getting all of a lather. So yeah, took the wheels back, swapped the cars over, and then we went to drop the Streetwise off because the Streetwise is taxed and the yard is full to overflowing. So the Streetwise went to Mustard's house to live on the road on the basis that it is taxed. And then we went to Senior Mustard's to pick up the new car that was bought at the back end of last week. Wednesday, I think it was bought, wasn't it? And I drove that back to the yard. But it's the first time I've been to Senior Mustard's place. And it is utterly fantastic. I fell head over heels in love with it. And I did no more than immediately invite myself to lunch there. I said, can I come to lunch? I love this place. And he said, well, yeah, you're welcome, but yeah, bring your own food. And Mustard said, he'll bring Momo. We'll all have Momo. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to have a Momo lunch, Shay, Senior Mustard. Because it really is a fantastic place, but even better in the summer. Absolutely lovely. And then I came home in Mingebag. And then since then, I've been getting stuff ready for tomorrow. Playing with the MacBook, trying to upload some merch and failing miserably. And I got so annoyed, I had to give up because I was going to start throwing things through the window. It's probably me being stupid, but the websites just seem impossible to navigate. I tried 2 different websites thinking that one of them must, but no, they're equally as fiddly as the other. And I just find it absolutely impossible to. I'm probably being thick. And it's probably just me, but oh God, it was really annoying me. And then I discovered Apple Music. Oh, now listen, do me a favor. I have signed up to Apple Music because I didn't realize how good it was. And I've got lots and lots of lovely tunes, some of which I haven't listened to for ages, all on my portable electric telephone, which I can stream into my onboard gramophone. So that, well, I can in some of the cars anyway. That's why I was talking about getting new gramophones. Because now I've got a load of music or a load more music on my portable electric telephone. I'd like to have a suitable gramophone in all of the vehicles, not just some of them. I mean, that's going to take money and patience waiting for some to come up secondhand or whatever. But, it's a project, isn't it? But it is now the 27th of November. So I need you to remind me on or about Christmas, i.e. in a month's time or just under a month's time, remind me to unsubscribe before the buggers start charging me $10.99 a month. I want to use my month free, and then I want to. I've got some bangers on it. Do you want to hear what I've got so far? Right, hang on. Okay, I've got a right mix on here. Hang on, let me get my nibbles. They might be done now. Ah, nice. Oh, no, I'm going to get crummies. I'll use this receptacle, which housed some baked beans this morning. That's another thing. I've made a massive change in my life. And today was the first day of the rest of my life. Now, as you know, because I'm very open with you, we have no secrets from each other. I break my fast of a morning with a single slice of hot, lavishly buttered toast. And it suddenly occurred to me, why don't I put some beans on there? Because, beans are all right. Okay, there's a bit of salt and sugar in them, not as much as there used to be, but plenty of fiber and protein. And I thought, why not just have 1 spoon of beans on my 1 slice of bread? So I opened my official tin of beans, one of the small ones, 21p, Sainsbury's own brand, and I decanted them into this. And I reckon I'll get about 4 days out of that. So that would work out as 21p, 5.25 pence per day. So quite affordable. And it made all the difference in the world because from just having a slice of buttered toast, I'm using a knife and fork. My breakfast knife and fork. So in my mind, I'm having a cooked breakfast, aren't I? And I felt really full and very happy, very satisfied, as if I'd just had a little Chef Olympic breakfast. And it was just one spoon of beans on the toast, and that's enough. And at 5p per day, you can't knock it. I can even show you the spoon. That's the one. That is my official bean spoon. And so just that full of beans, and that was lovely. So I'm going to carry that forward. After God knows how many years, 30 odd years of having the same breakfast, I'm changing. And it's now going to be beans on toast. Not many beans on not much toast, but there we are. It's a fairly simple job once you get the hang of it, says Dan. Oh, it is, yeah. I mean, you literally just put the beans in the microwave for 30 seconds, because there's only a few of them, and just bang them onto the toast. Dead easy. Video title is probably me being sick. Yeah, okay. Why not? Screenshot there. All right. Good evening, Boaty and everyone here, says Mark. Good evening to you. Nope, I can't type it, let alone say it. Oh, Christmas, I see. Beans for breakfast, says Cheeseburger. I bet that caravan was fun over lunch. Out of interest, is that a Jack Vetriano print of Paris behind you? Yes, it is. Skick asks, are you going to be doing some work on the caravan? No, Skick, not me personally, no. I hope Mustard will, though. I was going to tell you what songs I've downloaded. Tell me if you agree with any of these. And these are just, I'm going to do loads more. Get my money's worth out of my 3 months. God, I feel like Block now, eating at you. There you go, all gone. Well, it will have all gone in a minute. Gosh, 34 of you. That's nice. Thank you very much, all of you 34 people. Some of you hit the like button. I've only got 9. Go on, hit that like button. I'll wait. I'm not starting again until it gets to 17. Half of you must bloody like this. It's not that bad. I haven't started swearing yet or talking about anything dodgy. What is there to dislike? It's been brilliant so far. Top class content, I would say. Unparalleled. I once worked with a lad who only ate baked beans, chips, or sausage. He farted like a foghorn. He even had it on special order at the works Christmas do. Thank you, Joe. Oh, that's 14. That's better. That's better. How you getting on with your math book, mate? I'm struggling. I'll get there. I will get there. Oh, right. Music. Tell me if any of these float your boat. And they're a proper mix of just stuff that I randomly remembered. I'm looking forward to it, Neil. Stuff that I've randomly remembered. Stuff in the... Well, here we go. Right. You spin me round, open bracket, like a record, dead or alive. And if that band name was a question, then I can confirm that the answer is dead. Very dead indeed. Bless him. Interesting chap. Pete Burns, I think his name was. I didn't know anything about him at all until he did a Celebrity Big Brother. back when I was still watching television. Bring it to Rill. I'll show you how to use. I'm not taking it to Rill, Joe. I'm not risking that. There are going to be 4 very drunk people in a hotel room. I'm not placing my precious MacBook in that level of jeopardy. Are you mad? Oh, a slim chance of Bruce coming. He's doing strange things involving the turbo. I'm in the mix of combating the issue, just waiting on parts. Oh, well, fingers crossed. Oh, well, if you don't come in Bruce, then I won't come in Stigbert. We'll save that. We'll save the ZT up and I'll come in something else. I'll come in Mingebag or Sir Richard and Lady Morris. I'd be very happy to take Sir Richard and Lady Morris over the Horseshoe Pass. Just unliked, says Cheeseburger. He might sod off. Where did I get to? Oh, yeah, you spin me round. Temptation, Heaven 17. Now, that is a banger. And those two, Joe knows this, those two were on a CD that came in Mingebag. Mingebag had a CD when I bought her. And there's some cracking tracks on there, and those are 2 of them off there. I hadn't heard them for 20 years or something, so they're on my list. This is brilliant. Autumn Almanac, The Kinks. I love that song. That was mine and Little Miss's special song. And then also from The Kinks, Lola, the mono cherry cola single version, where, if memory serves, they had to I think the original lyric was Coca-Cola, and they got the 1960s equivalent to a copyright strike, or it was banned on the BBC or something for product placement. So they changed Coca-Cola for Cherry Cola. Tastes just like Coca-Cola, C-O-L-A Cola. Anyway, cracking track. Then we've got some Oasis, Lila, Love Like a Bomb, The Importance of Being Idle. And then we've got 3 tracks from a Pretenders live album called The Isle of You. Isle of You, but Isle of You, obviously. We've got track 1, Sense of Purpose, love that. Track 4, Back on the Chain Gang, and these are all live and acoustic with string section backing. And then the ultimate best Christmas song ever, 2,000 Miles. And this is one of those rare things where, well, maybe it's not that rare, you tell me, but the live version is a million times better than the studio version. I love that. Then we've got just an album track from the Pretenders, don't get me wrong. That takes me right back to when I was 13 years old, doing a paper round with my Sony Walkman. God, those were the days. Sony Walkman. And a paper round delivering the Redditch Advertiser. God. Then we've got, I love this track, The Searchers, Take Me For What I'm Worth. And I had to hunt that one down. It was on. I heard that. God Almighty, my first girlfriend, my first fiance, Donna Louise Tranter. And her parents had a Reader's Digest compilation set of tapes thing. And this was on there. I didn't know anything about it. I just heard it and I thought, God, that's brilliant. Great track, but I love the lyrics. And they just went into my head and they stuck there and they kind of never came out. And years later, when I was in business with Mel, who has just got encyclopedic music knowledge, and this was, when the internet was kind of in its infancy, not no gadgets like you've got now, whatever they're called, where you can tell it the lyrics or hum it and it'll tell you what the song is. And I just told her what I could remember of the song, and she said, "Take me for what I'm worth, searchers." And then she found it, played it to me. I said, "That's it." Anyway, that's on the list. The live version of Yola Taxi, Vanessa Paradis, which I have played for you. Oh, my lovely Alana set with a live version of Head Over Feet, one of my favourite songs ever. Then, what's his name? Mike Oldfield, Moonlight Shadow, live from the VH1 recordings, but with, of course, the gorgeous Pepsi on lead vocals rather than the one that did the original, which was, can't remember her name. Anyway, Pepsi was better. And if you disagree with me on that, then I'm afraid I will have to give you a Chinese burn. Sorry about that. Who did the original? Somebody will know. One of you will know. Then we've got, another live version of Into Oasis, Morning Glory. Can't remember which concert that's from. Oh, I think it's Manchester, Main Road. Then Norwegian Wood, but a cover, an acoustic live cover by the lovely Alanis. Then Pata Pata, Miriam Makeba. Another Manchester Main Road live from Oasis, some might say. Then the best version ever of Thank You by the lovely Alanis, live. Then Buddy Holly, Well All Right. And then finally, for now, I'm going to be adding lots more, 99 Luftballon by Nina. And again, that is a live version. Brilliant. There we go. Right, where did I get to on the old comments? Oh, Cheeseburger's at it. Oh, there's always a Dolomite that could make an appearance. I forgot about the Dolomite. I'd love to drive that. I'd love to film it. I'd love to drive and film it, and film and drive it. God, it's a long time since I've driven a Dolomite. Are you looking forward, asked Skip, to using the 75 estate? No. Cheeseburger says you can't teach math to dummies in 3 days, Joe. Quite right. Yeah, temptation. Banger, Joe. Neil says, I'm taking Joe to pay a visit down the unit to go and have a look around him. Oh, brilliant. I like being idle, says Simone. Well, it's very important if you believe Oasis. Lola, says Cheeseburger, banned on the BBC. Ray had to return from the USA to re-record. I'm surprised you kept the Walkman in Redditch, says Cheeseburger. I was a big lad. What is your favourite festive... This is a good question from Simone. What is your favourite festive movie, Boaty? Mine is Batman Returns. But I'm going to tell you the truth. As you know, I don't watch films. And I don't think I've ever seen a festive film. When I was a kid, I seem to remember that around Christmas, or the run up to Christmas, or around the Christmas time, I think it was on the BBC, they used to put the Carry On films on really late at night. And as it was school holidays, I used to stay up late and watch the Carry On films. But I've never really seen a festive film as such, although I have seen It's a Wonderful Life, which a lot of people would say is the ultimate feel-good festive film. But we had a weird tradition, me and Mel, that every Christmas Day, we watched a very specific South Park episode called The Red Badge of Gayness. And we did that because one Christmas, I went to International Stock in Kings Heath. God, I wonder if that's still there. International Stock was like, God, what was it? It was like a kind of, I don't know how you describe it, like a warehousey place that had like bankrupt and damaged goods and stuff, I think, something like that. It's a long, long time. No idea if it's still there. But yeah, I went there on Christmas Eve, and in the latter days, if you went upstairs, they had video and audio, and I bought some South Park videos. And on Christmas Day, we ended up watching the Red Badge of Gayness, amongst others, but that one in particular jumped out at us, and we said, right, this will be our tradition. Every Christmas Day, we will watch the Red Badge of Gayness. And now that I've said that and remembered it, this Christmas, I'm going to resurrect that tradition, and I will find and watch the Red Badge of Gayness on Christmas Day. Bring Stigbit, says Joe. Then it's still 2 MGZTs. I don't get it. How is it 2 MGZTs if what's his name isn't coming? What's his name? Oh, Bruce. Of course it's Bruce. I reckon now Ruby's back to full steam. It would keep up with the 190, says Neil, somewhat taking the piss. I presume that Ruby is the name of the Dolomite. Even with Joe's 6 months supply of clothes in the back. Yeah. If you're not aware, when Joe goes away for 2 nights, he takes us the kind of suitcase that you and I would take if we were going to Australia for 6 months, and then tries to carry it up the stairs and falls over. Guaranteed. You need to put all those songs in a separate folder, says Cheeseburger. Now, that's what you call crap music volume 1. Maggie Riley, that's right. Thank you, Cheesy. That suitcase has been through a lot. It's still got Rochdale's Premier in cream paint on it. Oh, that's from when he managed to fall upstairs. Rambo First Blood is a festive film. There's a Christmas tree inside the police station. Good shout, Neil. Now, that was a brilliant film. I've talked about this before. Based on a book which was based loosely on real life. The book was a lot harsher than the film. They had to clean the film up a bit because the book was a lot darker. I mean, in the book, at the end of the day, Rambo was killed. Well, he forced the major or general, whatever he was, I can't remember which. In the book, he forced him to shoot him. He said, "You created me, you finish me," and he guided his hand holding the gun into his mouth and pulled the trigger. But they didn't want to finish the film like that. They thought it was a bit too bleak. They did an ending like that. They did film it, and they put it in the rushes where they have like a test audience and gauge the reaction to it. And the reaction was so bad, they refilmed it and changed the plot line. And it also necessitated a change of actor because Steve McQueen originally played the Rambo's commanding officer. Can't remember if it was a major or a general, or a major general, or a general major for all I know. And Steve McQueen objected mightily to this change in the plot and said, look, if you change it, I'm out, I'm off. And they changed it and he buggered off. And the other guy did it. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Fight me, says Barry. Oh, international stock is gone. I'm not surprised, Cheeseburger, in this day and age. It was, God, that was quite the place though when I was a kid. Yeah. Yes, Neil. I ain't giving no down Loch Ness monster no tree fitty. Tree fitty. I love that episode. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. She gave him $5. What do you need, monster? I need about $3.50. Major Troutman, of course it was. Well done, Neil. Well done, Neil. Latif says the cash and caddy in Brum these days, says Cheeseburger. I'm here for my boy. I'm just shocked he kept any of your men alive. And you can't have a death at the end of a Hollywood blockbuster. Oh, of course, Cheeseburger. No option for a sequel. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that because, of course, there were more First Bloods, weren't there? I didn't watch them. They wouldn't have been any good. The first film was the right one. So, tomorrow is going to be a long day. I need to be up relatively early. I need to do some things, and then I'm heading down to Worcester, which is in Worcestershire. Oh, Generals and Majors by XTC. Put that on your list. It's a banger. God, I'm trying to think of what else I want to put on the list now. Oh, there'll be so many. They'll come to me. I tell you what I do want to put on there. April Come She Will, Simon and Garfunkel, from the soundtrack to The Graduate. That definitely needs to go on there. They're all good, to be honest, says Neil. Apart from the fourth, it's a bit boring. Oh, we're talking about the First Bloods. Yeah, so tomorrow I'm heading down to Worcester. Specifically, Simone's hoping to get Connie back tomorrow, and Worcester's not far from John. Specifically, I'm going to Worcester Crematorium to say goodbye to my best friend. So that's going to be a bit sobering, which, as I said on a video, is ironic because the one thing that we very seldom were when we were together was sober. We were, oh my God. I mean, one night I'll get drunk and tell you all of the stories about me and Rob. But yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be saying goodbye at the old Creme. And thank you, John. Oh, and don't worry, Boaty, says Neil. I'm on shift tomorrow, and that's my patch. So if you need recovery, give me a shout. I'll be in Minge Bag. MGTFs never break down, apart from when they do. And it's a well-known fact that MGs only ever break down once. And Mingebag broke down with Joe, so it can't happen again now. It's had its breakdown, the one and only. And then after the crematorium bit, there is going to be a wake somewhere, which I will catch a bit of. Now, I need to get back to the restaurant because I'm poor and I can't afford to have a night off. So it's it's going to be a bit of a long day because it's 2 hours at least down to Worcester from me. Then there's the funeral and then a bit of the wake, and so I need to be heading off from there about 4 o'clock, and I'll just go straight to work. No, but there's no point in trying to come home and then go back to work. I'll just go straight to work. And it's going to be a bit tough tomorrow, to be honest. I haven't quite got my head around it, and I'm more upset than you might. Oh, that sounds weird. You see, the thing is, Rob and I were so close, so close. For those who don't know, Simone's off. Cheeseburger says Worcester Creme there's a decent Chinese by there. I funded some new builds next to the Creme 25 years ago. Frightening. A decent Chinese. Well, it won't be open at lunchtime, will it? Give me a wave when you pass junction 4A. I will do, Cheesy. I'm hoping there'll be some food options at the wake because I'm going to be starving by then. Yeah, it's a weird thing. So for those who don't know, Rob was a kind of singy mate. I met Rob, um, gosh, almost at the very beginning when I accidentally went to a karaoke and accidentally sang. And he was part of the inner scrotum that they were a very good karaoke. It was like wasn't like a pub karaoke. It was hosted by Fred and Caroline, who were both bona fide cabaret artists, and they both had fantastic voices. Um, and they actually branded themselves as karaoke cabaret because they used to sing as well as doing the cabaret bit. And that meant that the equipment they used was cabaret standard, not like pub karaoke standard. So they had a lot of really good amateur singers literally follow them around because they were out 6 nights a week. Karaoke was a big thing then. And Rob was one of them who was part of the little gang that kind of followed them around, which I kind of became part of. And then, of course, things started happening, mostly down to me. You know me, I get involved in anything and I want to do it like to the max. So then, yeah, we started doing the amateur competition circuit, and Rob was with me all the way through. So when I turned pro, Rob came with me, and he was my he was my compere basically, because from day one, I've told you I never set out as I was never going to do the self-contained pub singer bit. Balls to that, you know me. I'm the ultimate bullshitter. I want to jump in halfway up the ladder, not start from the bottom rung. So I went out as a fully formed show from day one with full sound and light rig, compare, whatnot. And yeah, Rob, in the very early days, Rob was my compare, and Sasha was my sound and light engineer. And then, and things just progressed. But all the way along, from the beginning to the very end, Rob was there every single gig. Never did a single gig that Rob wasn't there. And I mean, I can't tell you what it used to be like. I mean, it was ridiculous because we would be going literally all over the UK, South Coast, Scotland, you name it, we'd go there in a big old MEB van with a generator on board, so that we could power our own outdoor shows. And yeah, originally it was me and Rob, and then it was me, Rob, and Mel. And then it was me, Rob, and Mel, and whatever groupies happened to be hanging about or whatever. And they were just riot, and we drank so much. I drank beer in those days, and our drink of choice was Budweiser. The worst ones, God, we did some really big student unions, and Bud was like £1 a bottle. We used to drink 30 bottles of Bud. Each, not between us, each. God almighty. And we started way before the show started. I was always drunk by the time I went on. I was well oiled. The pair of us were, all three of us were. And that was the way they went. We always drank more than the audience, and we always had more fun. And they were just mad, crazy. And then we'd have the takedown at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then driving sometimes 3 or 4 hours back after the gig. You know, sometimes we'd not be getting back until 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, when we'd get tucked into the curry and vodka. I mean, they were just crazy days, but so much fun. And as I say, Rob was there from the very beginning to the very last. And my very last performance was my own wedding reception. I think I've told you before, because I'd always said there was no way I was getting entertainment in for the wedding reception. I had done 400 million massively posh society weddings. And there was no way I was going to pay anybody else to do it. Wasn't going to happen. I'll do it my bloody self. Now, the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty wasn't entirely happy about that, so we ended up reaching a compromise. Now, by that time, I'd given up. I wasn't singing anymore. I'd given up the businesses, and because Rob had been so amazing, I gave Rob all of my equipment, everything, so that he could just go out himself and do whatever he wanted to do. He could do solo stuff. He could do cabaret stuff. I mean, what he ended up doing was doing a karaoke cabaret. That was kind of his first love, and that was what he did. And he did it right up until, well, whenever he became ill. And so my wedding, he came and did the show. I sang, and our first dance, I sang with a head mic. And then I just did, well, I joined in. We had a few singers, but I mean, they all did it for me. So I kind of stuck to my principles. I didn't pay anybody else to do it. And I did perform myself. I was a little bit, I was all right. I mean, I think it was probably 3 years that I'd been out of it. So my voice probably wasn't entirely what it was, but it was still, all right, still quite well up there. But then, of course, when that happened, gradually, we just kind of drifted apart without that. So, for years and years and years, we'd seen each other literally every day. And we were as close as two people could ever be. And then suddenly that wasn't the case anymore. And, I saw him now and then. And then by now, bringing us up to date, I haven't seen Rob for years. I mean, we've talked on social media and whatnot, but I haven't actually seen him for years. So, and that works weirdly with the grief thing, because as well as the grief of losing somebody that, as I said in the video the other night, your life is like a jigsaw. And as you get older, piece by piece is taken out of your life and lost down the back of the settee. So you haven't got your whole picture anymore. And Rob is a massive piece of my jigsaw that's gone. And so, a bit of grief would be entirely normal. But then you factor in other things as well. The fact you factor in that I'm of a certain age, and so many of my friends are dropping off the twig now. And you start thinking, shit, when's it going to be my fucking turn? I better tidy up and, clear the internet browsing history just in case you cough it in the night. And there's the guilt. There's the guilt of having allowed you and somebody that was so close to you to drift apart. I mean, it's natural. It happens. Of course it does. And I know I'm not alone in feeling that, because since Rob died, then I've been in touch and have chatted to some other people, including my ex, Sasha, who obviously, knew Rob very, very well, because we were a trio in the early days. And, Rob was there on the night that Sasha and I met for the first time. And they all feel the same, it's guilt that they had. So there you go. So tomorrow's going to be a bit weird, but hey ho. Where did I get to? I'll give you a wave back, says Cheeseburger. Feck off. Did this start at 10, says Carlos Fandango. I don't pay any attention to what Boaty does. Yeah, it's Monday. We always start at 10 on a Monday, and normally goes on till midnight, but I'm going to finish at 11 tonight because I need to edit today's daily diary and get that up, because obviously I'm out all day tomorrow and I've got some other things to do tonight. You won't quite get to my junction, says John, but I will be with you in spirit. Thank you. That's kind. When you break down, says Cheeseburger, can you make sure you are past the NEC? The traffic backs up terribly otherwise. I'll do my best. Cheeseburger says, Carlos, it did start at 10, but it feels like 9. Cheesy, don't talk to me about breakdowns in Birmingham, says Neil. It's a bloody horrid. Parking is a nightmare. And when you try and recover someone, they block you in, saying there will be 5 minutes and take an hour. Student gigs reminds me of the country scene in the Blues Brothers. Did they bottle you as well? You know, I've never seen the Blues Brothers. No, we never got bottled at. I've told you before. Rob was like in the early days when we were doing some like rougher places. Then there were a few occasions where it did kick off, and Rob was a right handful. And he had a rule that if we were in a venue and it kicked off, then he said that whoever was with him, because we used to travel with people. You know, we had, it's not fair to call them groupies, but that's kind of what they were. You know, people that followed us, and it was always handy to have extra pairs of hands to carry stuff to and from the van, because we had a big old setup, and if there was just the three of us, so you know, a few more hands to help out was very helpful. We used to just shove them in the back of the van. And so yeah, he always said that if it kicks off, then you get around the equipment behind me, and I'll make sure that neither you or the equipment get. And that's what he used to do. He used to, whatever stage or whatever we were on, he would just get out front and stand there like forming a barrier. All of the equipment and us lot would be behind him, and he was like, you know, on a pinball machine, you get the little flip flappers that you operate, and they bat the ball away. Well, he was like one of those. He just stood there, and you know, and it's all kicked off in the audience or whatever. And then every time somebody got too close, he'd just give them a smack and send them back in. He was a right handful. He wasn't a massive guy. He wasn't massively tall, but he was a very solid chap, and he was quick. Right, really useful. I'm glad he was my mate. I wouldn't have wanted to fall out with him, even though I was probably, I don't know, 6 inches taller than him. Have you been taking one for the team, Cheeseburger? Asked Carlos. Carlos replies, Cheeseburger, 26 of us have. Just because you've been unbelievably good to Boaty doesn't excuse you from turning up. Fucking hell. Carlos says, I've been on 5 minutes and it feels like a lifetime. Mind you, I have deja vu. Knock him and he might talk about new stuff. First blood. Steve McQueen, says Jimmy Quinn, was actually slated to star, but did not due to his death. So Sylvester Stallone got the role instead. If Steve McQueen didn't die, he would have been Rambo. I'm not sure how true that is. Oh, he's been at the pub and he's pissed. So maybe I'll start to make sense. Free the Boaty 26. Oh dear. Blues Brothers scene. They end up owing money because the bar bill is more than the gig fee. Yeah. $200 and you boys drank $500 worth of beer. That's what we were like. That's what we were like. When I think of the Blue Brothers, says James, I think of Di Bevan in Ashes to Ashes, trying to shoot that comedian disguised as one of the Blues Brothers. Steve McQueen turned down Dirty Harry, says Barry. And that is true, I'm sure, or at least I think it is. I think I've heard that before. Darlings, I'm going to love you and leave you. I know it's an hour shorter than normal. I'm sure that some of you will be very grateful for that. All being well, I will be back with you tomorrow night. But obviously, I need to just get stuff sorted, ready for the morning, make sure that I'm in bed at a decent time. 'Cause it's going to be a long old day tomorrow, and I need to have my wits about me. And there we are. So yeah, all of you who live on the way down to Worcester, I will be waving at you as I shoot past in Mingebag. I'm pretty sure I'm going in Mingebag. I'm definite I'm going in Mingebag. Now with new MOT. Aha! So yeah, say your good nights, darlings. I'll give you a minute just to say your good nights. Oh, lunch today was a very quick one. More good news for you. This week's lunch video, it's only 20 minutes long. And that'll be a great relief to Skip because they bore him stupid. I don't know why he watches them, actually. I'm not telling you anything about the new car because Mustard hasn't done a reveal video yet, but I drove it and somebody's going to love it. Lunch was sausage, chips, and curry sauce, and it was my turn to pay, but it was only £9.20. So, you know, that's 80p saved. Mustard wanted to go to Istanbul, and I put my foot down with a firm hand and said, no. Do the trombone outro. Oh, what's the trombone? All the best for tomorrow, Boaty. Fart us out. Do you want me to fart you out? I can fart you out. Okay, Neil, how did you know that? How did you know that? Actually, how did you know that? You clever chap, you. Yes, it is. And it's got a really interesting spec on it. He said it in a video last week. Oh, okay. And Joe finally tried a Savoy with curry sauce, and 100% will get one again. Excellent. Well, that's today's Savoy update, folks. It's got an interesting spec. It should be pre-project drive, shouldn't it? 99 car. It's got aircon. It's got front fogs, but then it's got steel wheels, which is a bit weird. And it's got an awful aftermarket stereo. It's got an awful aftermarket stereo in it, which really needs to be changed. But I have got an original Rover 25 stereo in there. So whoever, but I mean, I'm not going to. You fucking Northerners have it so easy. £9 for lunch. I pay that for a Ponzi coffee. Yeah, it's another old English white Rover, Joe. Look, move up north. You'll save a fortune. So whoever buys that Rover 25, I do have an OEM fitment stereo available. Is the radio you have CD? No, Joe. It's a tape head unit, but it controls a 10-stack CD system. Yeah, it is. It's tape with a stack CD. Right, you want me to fart you out? Okay. Oh, got to try and find it now. And then yeah. Where is it? Oh, here you go. Are you ready? There you go, darlings. Consider yourself farted out. Don't blaze out with my Goldberg. All right, darlings. Have a safe and peaceful night. Hope you sleep well. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. Take care of yourselves, and all being well, I will see you tomorrow night. Much love from me, and good night. Oh, more tea, Vicar.